Every day can become the crux of our purpose in life. It's an opportunity to develop and learn in new ways. Over the years, I have learned the significance of creating your world. It boils down to being externally referenced or internally referenced. The considerations may be summarized in these ways. Either we let others decide for us how we succeed at creating our world, or we decide how we want to shape our world. It's serious work to decide on how we build that purpose into our lives. The biggest indicator in shaping ourselves is how we interact amid difficult personal situations. Here's an interesting story. Many years ago, when I was in sales, I had a company car and did business with the medical community covering half of Northern California. In that regard, driving skills became extremely important. Managing traffic was a big deal, especially if I needed to floss my teeth. One time, I was driving down Highway 1, not too far from home, and I noticed a car behind me that seemed to be following just a little too close. I was in the middle lane with a reasonable amount of traffic on all lanes, so I decided to get in the slower lane. My thought was that, she must be in a bigger hurry than I was, since there were no cars, or very few cars, on the road, that I got absorbed in most of the traffic ahead of me, was able to notice that she was not behind me that much longer. My next doctor's office was a good 30 miles away. As I drove into the parking lot, I parked my car and evaluated my pre-call notes. Not more than 30 seconds later, the woman that was briefly tailgating me drove into the parking lot, parked 2 cars away from me. She looked seriously determined. I got out of my car and I was walking towards the doctor's office door. She approached me in anger. I could tell I was in trouble. Suddenly, my optimistic perspective of the day had vanished. Well, what would you have done in that situation? That moment was difficult to experience, and I just waited. Then she burst into a tirade. "You cut in front of me! I almost ran into you! I can't believe you did that!" Shock bolted through me. I had no idea I had impacted her that way with my driving. Without rationalizing, my arms just reached out to hug her. It was almost instinctive. She sobbed bitterly, but weakened into being held. Time passed. The sobs lightened. I gave her a tissue. No one else was in the parking lot, but it was clear my appointment was missed. There was no doubt in my mind that I was in the right place at that moment. Just as unannounced, she pulled away, jumped into her car, and drove off. Not in anger, but as if to complete. She was determined in her actions. I made myself available by just standing there silent. It was clear she needed to leave and reclaim the rest of herself alone. It was almost as though her pressure valve had been released. So I was left standing next to my car. No one else was around. It was almost as though I had just experienced a hallucination. No remaining visible evidence of her explosion, but certainly the energy of her pain. I could not help thinking how glad I was on that morning I had already flossed my teeth before I left home. My emotions were suddenly brought to bear as I remembered my missed appointment. I walked into the office apologetically and discovered that the doctor had already left for a hospital emergency. He had tried to reach me to cancel, but this was before mobile phones were so common. My customer service discussion with the office staff brought me back into my world. I learned again how important things happen for a reason. Timing is everything. I left that office with a remarkable sense of wonder. What seemed so profound was how human emotions and interactions can be so demanding, yet healing. I was not plagued by guilt for some reason. However, my perspective on surrounding traffic was heightened for future purposes. I believe we were created to serve each other in these ways. We are all infinite parts of one body. Perhaps more than anything, I noticed a lesson in being myself. An occurrence took me off balance, and yet the journey back on track came from the objective balance of the office staff. I did not share this experience with them or discuss it further with anyone. It did teach me that some things, however strange, simply need to happen. As human participants, we are here to support one another. We have a form of purpose that serves others as we succeed in creating our world. The choice is mine. The choice is yours.